How y'all doing, man? It's your boy the comment, KJN_man.510. That's the Bay. Catch me on Universal the Base. Catch me on What It Sound Like podcast, where you get your best reviews and interviews. Catch me on the Blerd Cartel. You know we doing well. And catch me on Blerd Approved Entertainment on Tapping No Capping. Well, basically, if you're Blerd and you've seen it, then what's your opinion? And today, we have the beautiful, most amazing woman on this planet, the fabrical Miss Granny, Ghetto Falls. Go ahead and say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, hold on. Let me put this on my my page real my phone is off. But today we talking about, is the world, are people in the world becoming more sensitive or more aware? What do you think about that, Granny?
I think people are becoming more sensitive. There's so many angry people out right now in the world. Everyone's stressed out. Everyone's just going through a lot. So you can't say much to anybody before they're offended. When it used to be, they could just kind of shake that off. But now it's like they're ready to go up to a battle because everyone's so angry right now. So it makes life a little difficult. You try to smile and help people to feel better. And that works a lot of the time. But then you have the ones that are just determined to be mad.
So you're saying that it's not that people are being more aware, it's that people are choosing to be upset or choosing not to be able to let go. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Because life is what it is. And what are you choosing to let or not let go of? Because
where is that people are choosing. My phone. I'm trying to be upset or choosing not to. I'm trying to publicize it. My phone is not letting me sense. Let it. There you go. Go ahead. Continue, Grady.
You threw me off.
I'm sorry. Here, I'm just trying to make it public for everybody on the thing. It makes it private and then it makes it public. So I'm just gonna privacy public. Yeah, I don't know why it does that, but if I make it go to my page, it doesn't automatically make it public to the people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyways, though, what would you say the people like from your generation, how they dealt with verbal attacks, like from either their peers or the world? You know how politicians and how they say certain things, like, you know, Donald Trump has said things that has been egregious to other people of the public, and how people was in the uproar. How did people of your generation react?
Well, people in my generation, of course, we all know that Donald Trump is a joke. He talks a whole lot of stuff, and he does a whole lot of things that are not right, but still, and yet he's still able to go up for a president when you're supposed to be gone, bruh. Because if the thing is that if that was Obama, it wouldn't be a no other term that you can go in after you've been indicted.
Yeah.
How do you do that? That's kind of crazy. So then, on the other hand, our people, the way we dealt with things, well, it not much better than what you guys did, because back in our day, it was a lot of alcoholics.
You didn't grow up in like Prohibition era, did you? No. That's before you.
That's right? Before me.
Right.
Yeah.
But just like alcohol from that point on affected people in your generation.
Affected people in our generation. Yeah. And that's kind of how they dealt with things. we as African Americans have always been, um, what's the word for it? We've been designed to believe in God and to know God. And so that's how we dealt with things with prayer and the belief, and that's what gets us through. That's the way it gets everybody through. It should.
Mm.
Um, you just have to believe in Him and know that you're going to be okay. Now, the thing now is that people are taking the time now to get psychological help, which is something that we never did.
Mm-hmm.
We kept it quiet, or we talked to friends that should that was crazy because they never gave you the right advice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, and we just kind of dealt with things on our own. We prayed about it a lot, which is just like I said, God fixes everything. But now people are verbally speaking with specialists to help them to at least get it out, to get some kind of advice of sort. Um, but still, that shouldn't take away the fact that you take it to God, because that's the ultimate uh, answer right there. He's gonna tell you what to do if you just take out some time for Him, take some quiet time for Him. He's gonna tell you. You might not like what He will say, but He's gonna tell you.
So, how do you feel like people being more sensitive in this generation has affected the black household? Like, do you feel like households are speaking more or staying together more due to people being more sensitive? Like, are we fixing the traumas and being able to come together, or is it breaking away the family, like that people can't really have a conversation based off of people being too sensitive?
And that's exactly what's happening. That families are breaking apart because there's um, you say one simple word to someone, and they're ready to blow up. They're ready to fight the family. They're ready to not talk to you no more. They're ready to eliminate you out of their lives. How do you eliminate family? Back in the day, we didn't care about the drunk uncle. We didn't care about the cousin that was always the loud one, or always the fighter, or always it was still family. So when we would have our family functions, still then people were invited. It didn't matter. But now, if one person say one word or one thing that offends someone, now you can't come to the family function anymore. It makes no sense. Family is serious. Family is important.
What's up with you? You can come through if you want to, fam. We're just having a little general convo. Um, so I'll bring up a couple of examples where I feel like people have been too sensitive, and I'll probably bring up some where I feel like people are becoming more aware. Um, so one of the examples where I feel like was crazy to me, right? Because I don't know how dating was for you growing up, right? But I know for me, it's extremely difficult
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if you would call it the bare minimum or what would you say, but for back then it seemed that as long as a man was respectful,
Mm-hmm.
he believed in God,
Mm-hmm.
he provided,
Mm-hmm.
uh, maybe prioritized his woman, he was good to go.
Yeah.
Now, you know, there's so many trigger words in this generation and so many different, uh, I guess use political agendas that people have that it's hard to just even date now because if you say the wrong thing or be on the wrong political side, you know,
Yeah.
that's it. People don't give you a chance to get to know you. Or I've even had my friend, right? Tirza,
Yes.
right? Okay, so I dated this one girl, uh, who you know about,
Mm-hmm.
and everything we got along famously. and we got into one argument, which was based on, oh, um, use the word females.
Mm.
And based off of me using the word females
Mm-hmm.
in a general conversation that me and her both was having about a movie, she said that, can you not use that word around me? And I told her what's the problem with the word female.
Yeah.
And she said that from her perspective, the word females is just another substitute word for the word bitch.
Oh, wow.
And so basically, because of that, she's like, well, if you use that word around me, like, I don't want to be around you. And for me, I'm like, so I'm romantic, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Me, you get along.
Mm-hmm.
We all these different things. I'm respectful. I've never called you a female, right? But because I used it once in a general conversation between me and you.
He used to turn it.
Who was that? My dad?
Your dad, yeah.
You want me to mute it for a second?
Stop. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You keep talking.
But yeah, I can keep talking. You talk to him. But yeah, I'm gonna give Granny a second. I don't know. Don't put him on speaker though. Yeah, but anyways though. So yeah, so based off, oh, that's my sister.
Yes, baby. Let me call you right back, okay? Granny is busy. I'm gonna call you right back.
All right, quick.
Okay.
What's up with daylight? What's happening? He said, if y'all going, I'll jump in. Yeah, we going, bro. I'm about to pick up my girl. Okay, it's good.
Okay.
So yeah, y'all heard that. But yeah, so anyways, so basically based off that that conversation, I was just like, okay, well, what's wrong with the word female? She said because it's another substitute word for the B word. And then past that, then I was like, okay, well, let's look it up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I looked up the word female, and it's just basically describes a woman based off of her having a uterus. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, she was like, well, you shouldn't define a woman based off of her her private parts. Like, basically, you're minimizing her from being human because any animal can have a private part. So because any animal can have a private part, mm-hmm. you're basically saying that she's not human because you're calling her a female. You're not calling her a human. You should be calling her a woman. So she didn't want me using that word around her. And so I was just like, okay. So I said, what's the problem with the word male then? And she was just like, it doesn't have the same loaded history with the word male because males aren't sensitive to it. And I was just like, yeah, because males don't care about that kind of label. Yeah, that language. Like, if you're a woman, you're a female, I'm a man, and I'm a, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm a male or a man. Like, that doesn't deter me from having a conversation with you for that language. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, moving past all that, she was just like, well, basically, it doesn't matter what the language is. Mind you, I even went down to the root word, and I was like, okay, well, let's get to the root. Like, where did it derive from? You know what I'm saying? The word female, which is, if you looked at the origin of the word female, it still describes a woman. Yes. So it's like, I'm confused on why you being upset with that. Like, it wasn't that I wasn't trying to respect her boundaries. It was the fact that I was trying to communicate to her that sometimes there are things that we are triggered by that is, and that's what I was fed knowledge, indoctrination by other masses of people. And then there are some things that are sensitive to us. Yes. And so if it was something that was sensitive to you, then I can understand, because I'm not going to disrespect or hurt the person that I'm talking to. Right. But if this is a conversation where you're just saying like, well, other women and me feel like this, I'm like, okay, well, why is that? This is a conversation of me trying to understand you. But it turns into, instead of me just saying, yes, ma'am, and shut up, it's, oh, you're disrespectful, you're this, you don't care, you don't listen. And it's just like, now, from somebody who we got along famously, no arguments, no nothing, no name calling, no nothing. Now we broke up, or we not talking because of a simple word, female. And that's what I'm saying. For her, instead of her saying to you,
that somewhere in her life, that word female has negatively been used in her life to trigger her. There's no way that, or no reason for female to be a bad word. Now, if you had called her the other word, the sad part is she probably would have accepted that better.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
the
Mm.
right, uh, the women today they're different. Um,
So sad too.
they their perspective on things, they want to be highly respected, and they should be the bottom line, but put the real perspectives on being respected. And then when you do want to be respected, are you given respect? Because it's very important for this to be a two-way thing.
Mm-hmm.
So many females now, a lot of the young girls now, are very afraid of being, um, back in our day, the word, and it's not coming to my mind right now, but basically to give in a little bit. So susceptible to,
You trying to
you
say
know,
submissive?
submissive. That's what I'm saying. To be submissive. Women are today, they're like they ain't being submissive to nothing but their children. Okay, so we're gonna go on to that. You're being a little bit too submissive to them children, because that's why they're disrespecting the world.
Mm.
We need to pick up a little bit on being, um, more angry with these children and their mouths and their disrespect, and them constantly sitting on these computers. We need to take out some time and have conversation with our children. That's what we need to do.
Daylight says that the word submissive is a trigger word too nowadays.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
It is a trigger word, because people do not want to be labeled as submissive. But you're being submissive, regardless to you want to think so or not. You're going to be submissive to somebody. May it be your employer, your children, or your man, or, or sometimes even ourselves. And it's okay to be submissive to yourself. You want to give yourself. You want to honor yourself.
Mm.
But we have to honor ourselves in order to be honored.
You gotta honor yourself in order to be honored. Mm. Okay, Granny. I see. I see. You came here to preach today. You dropping gems today. Okay. Um. Okay. Okay. So we're talking about how we do believe that the world is more sensitive than we do think they're aware. Let's talk about the aware part. But so for coming from people who come from a background of abuse, right?
Yes.
We all acknowledge that verbal abuse,
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of people, say that it's more effective than it is physical abuse.
It is.
So, how do you find the middle ground between the verbal abuse of people trying to attack you with your words and things of that nature versus it is for for you to toughen up and being able to have a conversation? For example, me and you had a conversation not too long ago about my actual biological grandfather,
Mm-hmm.
and basically that you wanted to shield our family from them because you had noticed that my auntie, which was his daughter, her grandfather would call her what?
Blackie.
Blackie. So to what extent, like, do we shield our children to protect them, but then also teach them how to navigate through the world without being too sensitive?
Okay, so this is that's a hard one, because here's the thing: is that, we got to have conversation. We have to let our children know about this world, of today, because it's so scary. Our young black boys and our young black girls can't even go to the corner store without getting some kind of attack. May it be verbal, may it be um, sexual, may it be whatever. It's some kind of somebody saying something. Um, so here we go. We have to talk to them and say, you know what? This is this is what's going to happen along your way. And I might not be able to tell you everything that's going to happen, but I can get you somewhat prepared of the things that people say or the things people do, because angry people say angry things.
Mm-hmm.
Angry people say hurtful things. Hurtful people hurt other people. Um, because here's the thing. Why would a grandparent call their grandchild Blackie? May it be you think that's a cute um, thing to
Term of
say?
endearment.
Yeah, that's not a
Yeah.
term of endearment, because especially when that child is dark.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that? I, I could see some you saying, "Hey, my beautiful queen," or "Hey, my handsome king,"
Mm-hmm.
uh, because we're already determined so much by the different shades of our skin, to where we don't need to come home and hear, "Hey, Blackie," who wants to hear that?
Right.
"Hey, baby, how was your day?" That's what I want to hear.
Right.
Hey, love. Hey, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did when my children were small, I was a different kind of mom. But if anyone came in my house and said anything negative, they weren't allowed to come in my house anymore, because it was all positive talk. Now, did it make my children's life any easier? I can't tell you that. What I can say is that they grew up with a very strong base, to where they felt they were okay. They felt they were, wonderful people. Um, and they knew that they had someone that really cared about them inside our walls. It wasn't where you came home to negative talk. And that's the thing. You hear these moms out here right now at the
Mm,
grocery store
mm,
and at the mall,
mm,
calling their children's bees and all kind of words. Sit your ass down. Come on, you're out in public. Don't bring your children down that way. Don't do that. Lift them up. Make them know that they are special. Because if you treat your children special, everyone else will as well. Or they will know they better do it when you're around. And then your children will know that they're special and won't allow other people not to treat them that way when they're not around you.
mm. So daylight, I left this up for a reason. I'm gonna get to these other comments as well.
Okay.
You come from the education, background of career. You know what I'm saying? You used to
Yeah.
be a teacher.
Yes.
So for this comment right here, I want you to address, because I'm pretty sure you probably witnessed this kind of stuff in your school too. So
Okay.
especially when they're young. I work at a middle school full of black and brown kids, and they use colorism and dark skin jokes on each other every day. I hate it, because it be the most beautiful skinned children they try to make feel bad about their skin. How you feel about
Exactly.
that?
Very true. And I witnessed that a lot with children at that, with other children. But it's because they're hearing this stuff at home. This stuff derives from home. You hear it from the parents, from the grandparents. Like, Come on now. Why would you do that? Why would you? You'll hear the grandmother or the not even the grandma. You'll hear the family saying, "Oh, this is my little light skinned baby.
Mm-hmm.
This is my little dark skinned baby." Why do we have to put that on there? This is my baby.
Mm, I agree. Um, there's a couple of examples I can bring up about that. Yep, they do that at school too. Coming to the school, cousin they kids out and
Yeah.
cousin they kids out cursing. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
It's sad. It's sad. Why would you cuss your children out in public or even at home? But then especially in public in front of other people, because all that does is say it's okay for other people to cuss your children out too.
right. So I was gonna say, so my ex that I dated. So I was now this isn't something that was directed at me, but this is something I was just like, yo, because she said this word, because we're talking about is the world more sensitive or are we being more aware? So like for example, my ex, she is Polynesian, you know what I'm saying? And she comes from a place where they can be discriminated against, have been discriminated against for their skin color and heritage and things of that nature. But one day I was on my phone, I was scrolling on my phone, and my friend had sent me like a GIF, or had a GIF on a comment. You know what I'm saying? I looked at the GIF, and it was this like curvy woman, and she came and looked and saw, as a woman would do, have a natural reaction, which was being upset. But the word that came out of her mouth was, "Oh, you going? So this is what you do? You sit on your phone and look at blackies?"
Mm,
And so I said, "What?" And she
right.
was like, she was just like, what? And I was, we what? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I said, I said, first and foremost, the woman wasn't even black.
Right.
That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
And then two, I was just like, since when? Like when we did that,
Right.
I felt offended on multiple different
Right.
ways. Like one, do you like, when did I make you feel comfortable enough
Yeah.
where
Well,
you
you
thought
could.
that was
Well, you
cool?
thought that was okay to say.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I'm doing
That
something
part.
wrong if you
Yeah.
thought that was gonna slide. And
Yeah.
then too, like
Yeah.
even if I don't care if you wasn't saying it to me or I don't know this person,
Yeah.
if it was something like this is, I have a black mom, I have a black
Yeah.
granny, I have black sisters. You know how I feel about black women in general.
Right.
Why would you even fathom to think that would be okay? She was like,
Right.
"Oh, I didn't think that was a derogatory word, a racist word." Or woo, woo, woo. I'm just like, so if I put any color and
Yeah.
added IES on it, does
Yeah.
it sound right?
Right.
Look at those brownies over there. Get
Right.
that whitey away from me.
Right.
Stuff like that. You think
Right.
that, does it sound right to you?
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And
Right.
then speaking about another blackie terminology I heard, my partner Nikitas, he's Puerto Rican
Mhm.
and his goddad was black.
Mhm.
But his grandmother, even though just being Puerto Rican, he's also mixed with Mexican, but uh keep
I'm trying.
hold on.
I
This is a
gotta wait
prime
till the.
example that y'all know this is my granny. When grandparents don't know how to use the phone.
You know what? You know what? I tried to silence it. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so my partner Nikitas, he has a sister.
Mhm.
His sister is half black, half Puerto Rican, and
Okay.
his grandmother would be like, "Oh, Nikitas, he's the smart one. No, Nikitas, he's the beautiful one, and my granddaughter, she's the smart one."
Mhm.
So she would say that like and call her Negrita, you know what I'm saying, as the
Mhm.
black kid, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And basically say that she don't feel like she's the beautiful one because she's the dark skinned one.
Okay. And that happens a lot um in the white or any other nationality kind of family. Um, that's in all families. So even in our families, uh, the darker child is just not looked at as the beautiful one. It's the brighter skinned children that are considered, you know, uh, as the as the beautiful kids. When man, we have beautiful kids of all shades, all nationalities. Children are just beautiful. They are as great as we allow them to be. So parents, stop labeling your household. If they're smart, it's okay to say they're smart. Just say you're smart. You don't have to say, oh, you're my little bright, light skinned baby.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do you.
Right.
Oh, you're my little dark, smart man. You don't need my smart guy. My beautiful smart grandbaby, or my beautiful daughter, or smart daughter, or whatever it is. But we do not consistently have to put shades of color in our speech, um, because that's what we're doing, is we're building a nation of people determining themselves as by the color and the complexion of their skin. And it's facts that even still today, um, this kind of thing applies in workforce and everywhere. Um, it does. How do we prepare them for that? I still don't have a clue, because my children was all shades, a lighter brown, darker brown. It it doesn't matter. Um, all wonderful children, all pretty successful. So it's like I don't know the clue or the answer to that, other than just consistently letting your children know they're great and being a big part of their being, and talking with them, and giving them whatever knowledge that you have, and making sure that they get educated, because without the education, we will get nowhere. um, Back to, is our nation, or you're saying, are people more sensitive? Yes, people are more sensitive because of all of these things we just discussed. We have every reason to be sensitive, but we got to figure out a way to stop being so sensitive, and to get stronger and better with our being, and with um, the power within ourselves, to know that we are good, we are amazing, we are beautiful, we are ready to take on this next step of high technology. We've got to get ready for that,
Mm-hmm.
because it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the funny part is that our children are teaching us this, because they're coming out the womb knowing the technology. So let's get ready for that. Um, yeah,
So when you was talking about people gotta learn how to get stronger, and have that self confidence.
yeah,
Speaking from your own personal background, I know this is a little different. We've talked
mm-hmm,
about race. We've talked about the triggering words between males and females.
mm-hmm,
Being a woman, right? Because
mm-hmm.
we know we people talk about weight.
Right.
People talk about Lizzo. People
Yes.
talk about like you cannot fat shame a woman, things of that nature. When you
Right.
was younger, you were teased for having broad shoulders, and
Mm-hmm.
they used to say
Mm-hmm.
you look like a linebacker,
Yeah.
things of that nature. So, how did you take on that negative rhetoric and not turn out to be this very
Bitter.
bitter and
Yeah.
sensitive, defensive person? How did you take that and be able to learn how to keep your confidence and move forward?
Prayer. I don't know. It never. Well, at the time that it was going on, it affected me a little bit, But the thing is that again, I was taught at a very young age that mean people just say mean things, hurt people just say hurtful things. And so then you, because you know what you're looking at when you look in the mirror. So I knew what people were saying wasn't far-fetched. Yes, I did have big shoulders. Yes, I was chubby. Yes, I was short. So those were things I just upon myself just took it on. That is who I am, and I was happy with that. I i didn't proclaim myself as being negative in any way, as far as in my being. I What I did is I got into my studies a lot, because I was like, okay, well, yeah, I might be short and fat, but I'm gonna be smart.
Hmm.
I might be a linebacker. I look like a linebacker, but I'm not playing football. So it's you have to bring the joke upon yourself and just say, you know what, I'm okay though.
Mm.
I'm good. I look in that mirror and see what you do have that makes you feel really good. I always thought I had a good smile. So I build on that smile. So everywhere I went, before people, even the ones that were saying, oh, you got big shoulders, they couldn't take away, oh, but you have a really beautiful smile. So you bring that attention somehow to the great parts about yourself, and make yourself feel great, period.
Focus on your
Focus
strengths.
on your, yeah, that part. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what you do. Yeah.
I feel that. So she said, so I think you kind of answered her question, but she was saying, how do you not internalize the disrespect?
You laugh it out. Is because disrespect is something that we're never going to get away from. People are going to disrespect us on a daily, but it's because these are people that are not respected themselves.
Mm.
So again, it goes back to disrespect gives disrespect, hurt gives hurt, mad gives mad, evil gives
Mm.
evil.
So basically, what you're saying is, if you want a happier life, you need to control the cycle that you create.
Exactly. You
So,
have
like, you can choose to be angry, and then
you
you'll
right.
create an angry cycle. You can
Exactly.
choose to be bitter, you'll create a bitter cycle. You can choose to be sad, you have a sad cycle.
Right.
But you have to choose to be happy to have a happy cycle.
You have to choose to be happy to have a happy cycle. We can sit back and dwell on the disrespect. Yes, we can, but why? What good is that doing you? If you sit back and think about all the terrible things that people say, you're going to be sad forever. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
She says, thank you, and I agree. You are beautiful and have a beautiful smell.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. So, but what about, okay? We all black, right? This is a black space.
Yeah.
We hear the sensitivity. We hear how do we navigate through that. We hear some people are overly sensitive. What happens to the conversation of tough love? Because as sensitive and as aware as this woman is, it's the same woman that would three-piece you fast.
Back in the day. Back in the
if
day.
you feel me, you get a little short with her, you know what I'm saying, or you feel me, get things twisted. She fast. So how do you know what coat to put on for what situation? You know what I'm saying? You can be this person that you show every day,
Yeah.
right? But on what grounds does it take where, hey, all right, now I gotta take it to that level, whether it's disrespect or physical violence, or where is that a healthy tool to use? Is it necessary? When is it appropriate?
Which part? Which part?
Rather, if you
The
gotta
putting
get,
hands.
rather you gotta put your hands on somebody, you gotta get verbal back with them. When is it okay to utilize that? Because me personally, I don't believe that you can navigate in this world by being one way. I don't think
No,
that
it's no
being
such thing.
completely positive, you're going to be able to not be subject
Right.
to either being physically attacked or verbally abused or whatever. So at what point do you fight fire with fire? Is that a thing?
It
Or,
is,
you know what I'm
well,
saying?
it is a thing to a point. Now, here we go. The fact of the matter is that a whole lot of people don't know how to turn and walk away and leave that negative stuff there. We keep going back into the face of the same disrespectful people. For what? If you know this person is disrespectful, if you know this is an angry, hurting person, don't let these people around your world.
Mm,
It's a saying, I read it not too long ago. It was like, I forget, I really forget how it go, but basically it was saying it's okay, for these friends that I thought was my friend. Thank you, Lord, for removing them out of my life. Thank you, Lord, for removing them out of my life. I'm not hurt by that anymore. See, we used to be hurt. We knew these people weren't good for us. We knew how they treated us, but we still wanted them around because they were interesting, because they helped us to feel bad when we were already feeling bad. When you pick up yourself and know you're better than all of that, then it's real easy for to let these people walk out or you to walk away from them because it's necessary. And when it gets to the point where you've got to put hands, you definitely need to walk away, because you know what? The police are ready for it to be called for them to come and tear us apart. We don't need to be putting hands on each other. We don't need to be putting hands on anybody. But now, I'm not gonna be truthful. If somebody put hands on me, I'm gonna defend myself
mm-hmm.
because I love me enough to where I don't want to get hurt. But at the same token, once I put them down, and I will, then I'm walking away. And they better hope that they don't come after me after that, because then it's a problem. You know, we I don't believe in violence, but don't put your hands on me.
Mm.
That part. So, yeah, walk away from the negative. We stay around the negative for what? Why are we staying around these negative people? When somebody say negative, really hurtful negative things, that's because just like I say, we're so sensitive. Some people say the silliest things,
Oh, I forgot to put on my music. Go ahead, Granny.
and
Some
we
people say the
take
silliest
it
things.
to a whole nother level. Like they'll simply say something like, "Oh, well, yeah, whatever. Did you go to work today or whatever?" And somebody over here, they so sensitive, they might say, "Well, why she asked me, did I go to work? Did she go to work?"
Right, right,
Like
right, right.
they might have asked you that for a reason. Now, if that was asked in a negative way, then I say, "Oh, well, is something going on? Did you need my help? Why are you asking me?"
Mm.
But I'm not going to get angry
Right.
and defensive about that. And that's just an example of so many other examples, but that's just a small example of the simple little things that are setting people off right now, because everybody's stressed out. The bills got to get paid. They say that they're hiring on these jobs right now, but you put in the applications and they ain't calling you. We worrying about our babies in school. We worried about our children when they're out there just playing. Our children can't just go outside and play. So yeah, we have a lot of reasons to be sensitive, but we're gonna have to find a way to channel that and figure out how to turn this all this sensitivity around and become a little bit, well, a lot more stronger, so we can build stronger children.
So I wanna ask a question based off of what you just said. So at what time right? Do
Mm-hmm.
you invoke grace, right? Because yeah, you said that there's negative people, they do negative things, hurt people, things of this nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when do we take the time to give them grace to learn and become better? Are we supposed to, any person who is not healed, any person who is not, doing right,
Mm-hmm.
do we just separate ourselves from them and don't allow them to be influenced by your type of character, or do you just be like, okay, I have to protect my sanity and my happiness first? How is that?
That's a very good question because
Because
here,
real quick,
yeah.
the reason why I asked that is because what you said, and I've heard this in church, right? And I've actually heard this in a couple of seminars as well,
Mm-hmm.
is that when somebody does something to you, like, oh, they bumped you,
Mm-hmm.
right? The first thing you think is, oh, this person trying me,
Right.
right? You already assuming what that person's intentions are, or why they feel whatever it is that they're feeling. But what you just said prior to me making that statement was, there's all this stuff going on. People are stressed out about bills. People are stressed out about, their kids' health, all these different
Everything. Yeah.
things. So when you're being approached by these things, right, or these type of people, you have to put in consideration, what is it that this person is going through.
This is true. This is
So
true.
so at what point, right? Because I hear that you
Mm-hmm.
say you separate yourself so that you can continue to keep your happiness in check. But at what point are you like going to allow people the grace to get to the level that you're at? Because can you truly be happy if you are so self-guarded to where people can't enter your bubble, they can't enter your circle, because you are so sensitive to energy, you are so sensitive to negative thoughts, or let's say
Now I totally get
yeah,
where
yeah,
you're
yeah,
coming
like
from. Mm-hmm. Right.
combating
Right.
type of
Right.
energy
Right.
that you can't allow people to get close to you. So
Right.
at what point do you find that middle ground to show people grace,
Right.
to get to the point where y'all can find a middle ground?
Okay. Conversation. Everything is conversation. Relationships of all sort. Conversation. So if I'm consistently, and see, because just like I say, when I say cut somebody off, I'm not talking about right away. That is not even realistic. What we do is we deal with it and we deal with it and we tell them how we're feeling. You got to tell them, hey, that offended me, or hey, what are you going through? Let's sit down. Let's talk about that. Let's go sit down and have a glass of wine. Let's talk. Um, and then most of the time when we're in someone's life, we already know what they're dealing with mostly, except for the things that they don't want us to know. Um, but yeah, you take out that time, and you know me, man. Um, I deal with a whole lot of people on a whole lot of levels. Um, and but my thing is this, is my constant thing to them that I say is pray about it. Now, at a point I can tell that sentence gets on a lot of people's nerves. But the ones that it don't get on their nerves, they'll come back to me and say, Mama Gail, I did pray about that, or I did talk to God about that, and that did help me. Um, no, do we ever completely cut somebody out? No. But when I'm saying walk out and leave them alone, sometimes you have to do that for them to think about what they've lost. Because when you have a good friend or a good mate or a good whatever, sometimes it takes you to walk away for them to miss you a little bit, for them to realize the great person that they did have by their side. So then when they give you that call and say, hey, I'm sorry, or hey, can we talk? That's where the grace come in, because I'm I'm already still here. I'm waiting for you. If you never come back through that door, that's on you. But when I walk away, I'm walking away with the door still open, where when you're ready for someone like me that's ready to love you unconditionally and be there for you, then I'm ready. I'm open. I'm the door is wide open. Um, and that's how people have to be, because I can't hold grudges. God don't hold no grudges. He he died for us and our sins. He he opened the door for us to be forgiving because he forgave us for
Mm.
everything. So I'm not going
Right.
to do, yeah, like, you can do some horrible things, and people have, to me, and they came back to me and apologized, and we were able to move on.
Mm.
I'm not going to say I've been the best. I've done some things to people, and I've had to go back and apologize as well. And we keep moving on. But when it gets to that level where you can't do that, then you have to be okay in your heart and in your mind to know that you tried.
I heard that quote that you said where people did um you know people would have to endure things, Jesus had to endure things. One of the things that made me bitter when I was getting closer to God is I was reading one of my daily breads, and it said to get to know Jesus is to suffer like he did. And so to me, I got instantly angry because I'm like, okay, God, so what you telling me is that in order to get closer to you,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go through bullshit.
And that's
my
not what it was
whole my
saying.
whole life, like, you know what I'm saying. So I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
where's the silver lining? When do I
right,
get to the
right.
the the end of the tunnel?
Yeah,
But one of the things, like, kind of like what you said, but flipped. It was like when you get to that moment of like, yo, woe is me? Why am I going through this? All this X, Y, and Z. It's like, bro, like when you think about people who mistreated you, people who, like you said, that had to come back to you and apologize. Why did they do me like this? I'm a good person.
right,
I go to church. I do yada yada yada.
right.
And one of somebody flipped it, like what you said. It's like, basically, if people could betray Jesus,
Yeah,
if people could, you know, do him the way that they did him, what makes you think that people won't do you like that?
that part,
You know what I'm saying?
that part.
And so, like, I think it's that part of having the wisdom that you're coming from, where you realize that everybody's going through something, that you can not personalize every encounter where it gets to that extra level.
Exactly.
My thing that I was going to say though is switching to a different topic. Same subject,
Okay.
different topic. uh the Will Smith situation
Okay.
with Jada and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where she was called out for her alopecia.
Yes.
Now, like we said, is the world becoming more sensitive or more aware? Was it right for him to do what he did to defend his wife because he's aware of her alopecia and how much that affects her? Or was that a sensitive moment where it got taken out too far?
It was a sensitive moment that got taken out too far. And then the thing about the Smiths is that they that it wasn't just based on her alopecia. It it was based on a whole bunch of stuff that they had been going through in their family. So
I don't even know what he's trying to say. Go ahead.
yeah, so um they he was obviously feeling very vulnerable at the time, and he went by the way she reacted, and he felt he needed to defend her, which was way too far. But here we go. This is a man that has been upstanding in in society for all these many years, and you make one mistake, and then you're, because that was a mistake. He got caught up in itself and or the situation, and He lost it, and we're all allowed. We're all allowed. He didn't kill nobody, amen. He slapped someone that was obviously making fun of his wife, which Chris had no right to do that in front of such a large audience. So, that's Monica.
Okay. You want me to carry your show?
Yeah, finish up.
Okay, I'll finish it up.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to me.
All right.
God bless.
That was my granny, y'all. So I wanted to tune in with her, visiting her, and wanted to, do a little podcast with my granny because, wouldn't be no me without her. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my mother as well, my dad, you know what I'm saying? But it all starts with the grandparents, you know what I'm saying? So the reason why I brought this up is because it seems that the world has become very unforgiving. You know what I'm saying? We hold on to a lot of grudges, a lot of people who are, who get hurt from another person.
Yes, ma'am.
And or say you had a disagreement or misunderstanding, and then all of a sudden you don't want to speak to this person no more. You know what I'm saying? Or this is an ex or whatever the case may be. And because of y'all went through something, it's like, oh, y'all never talk to this person ever again. We've normalized that. We've normalized cancel culture. We've normalized cutting ties. We've normalized blocking people. Like, that's something that is so infamous in our culture, where people, all they do is block, and they love putting people on blast, and showing that they block people, showing they block lists, and talk about the people that they block. And I just think that mentality alone is what's killing our connection to each other, killing the fact that we can move past our grievances and learn how to communicate. Because if your first resort is to instantly block somebody, instantly excommunicado, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to John Wick. If that's your first instinct, then as woke that you think you are, trying to protect your energy, how are you going to grow? Because you're not allowing yourself to go through any type of conflict. You're not allowing yourself to go through any type of struggle or something that is uncomfortable for you. You're so trying to be protected in your own little bubble of what your reality should look like, that you are so tone deaf to other people's emotions, other people's perspectives, other people's like mishaps or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like how my grandmother was saying on here, it's like you have to give the same grace that Jesus has given us. God died for our sins. You know what I'm saying? And if he could forgive the people who did him dirty, then why can't we forgive the people who have made simple mistakes? I'm not talking about the people who need to be cut off, the people who trespass us in a way that's like, yeah, I can love you from a distance, or I'm not gonna carry this hate in my heart, but I can never communicate with you ever again. But that's an extreme, extreme resort, result of an extreme act. You know what I'm saying? We've normalized for the smallest miscommunication to normalize, not talking to this person ever again. And I think that as long as we keep that mentality of cancel culture and things of that nature, we're never going to get to the point where we're more aware. We're always going to be more sensitive because we're more in tune and more focused on how we feel and what we think versus this how other people think and how they feel. Because there's always two sides to a story. You feel me? So yeah, man, where we at with it? Almost an hour. I think that's it, bro. I was waiting for my boy King Jew to come back on here. I know y'all miss him. He ain't been on in a second. The tournament has been not going the way I thought it was gonna go, but we definitely gonna continue with the tournament next week. It's gonna be me versus my boy Rico. And I'm going to be using Cheshire. He's going to be using this guy named Wei Chen from Sleeping Dogs video game. And we're going to see if we hypothetically put these two against each other, who will come out on top. And then we got my boy Battle Junkies going against Jupiter
Wow.
And yeah, man, then we're gonna finish up the tournament and see how it goes.
Wow.
And I appreciate y'all tapping in with Tapping No Capping. Thank y'all for coming in on this Friday. Y'all have a good night. Be blessed. See you.
Right. Oh, Lord.